In a lush, green forest, where sunlight dappled through the leaves and painted shifting patterns on the ground, lived a small tortoise named Sulima.
Now, Sulima wasn't the fastest creature in the woods.
Her steps were slow, deliberate, and measured, but what she lacked in speed, she more than made up for in wisdom.
Every animal, from the chattering squirrels to the wise old owl,
knew that Sulima was incredibly smart and possessed a calmness that could soothe even the most ruffled feathers. One sweltering summer day, the heat hung heavy in the air, making every creature feel sluggish. To escape the oppressive warmth, the animals of the forest decided to journey to the cool, clear lake at the edge of the woods. It was the perfect spot to quench their thirst and splash around in the refreshing water. A buzz of excitement went through the community. The deer, with their long, graceful legs, and the rabbit, with his signature hop, took off in a flash, eager to be the first to dip their noses in the water. They kicked up dust as they raced down the well-worn path, their laughter echoing behind them. Sulima, as always, started her journey at her own steady pace. She watched her friends disappear into the distance, a small, knowing smile on her face. She enjoyed the journey, taking in the sights and sounds of the forest that her faster friends often missed. She noticed the way a beetle crawled meticulously over a leaf, the intricate pattern of a spider's web, and the gentle rustle of the wind through the tall pines. As she ambled along, her sharp eyes caught a flicker of movement that seemed out of place. Behind a large, ancient oak tree, she saw a figure hiding. It was a hunter. Sulima instinctively pulled her head and legs into her shell, her heart thumping a little faster. Peeking out carefully, she watched as the hunter crept silently toward the lake. He was carrying a large, coiled net. With practiced movements, he began to spread it near the water's edge, expertly camouflaging it with leaves and branches. It was a trap, perfectly positioned to catch the thirsty animals when they arrived. A shiver of fear ran down Sulima's spine. Her friends were running straight into danger. For a moment, panic threatened to overwhelm her. But Sulima took a deep, calming breath. "I have to warn them," she whispered to herself, her voice firm with resolve. "I must reach them before it's too late." Gathering all her strength, she pushed her little legs to move faster than they ever had before. It wasn't a sprint by anyone else's standards, but for Sulima, it was a race against time. The path seemed to stretch endlessly before her. Every pebble a mountain, every root a hurdle, but the thought of her friends in peril fueled her determination. Finally, she reached the clearing just before the lake. The deer and the rabbit were already there, just about to lower their heads to drink. "Stop!" Sulima shouted, her voice carrying across the clearing. "Stop, my friends. Don't go near the water." "There's a trap."
The animals froze, startled by her urgent cry.
They turned and gathered around her, their faces a mixture of confusion and concern. The rabbit, ever impatient, twitched his nose and asked, "How do you know that, "We didn't see anything." Sulima, still catching her breath, explained everything she had seen. "I saw the hunter," she said, her voice steady now. "He was hiding behind a big oak, and he set a huge net right where you were about to drink." A murmur of fear rippled through the group. The deer's ears swiveled nervously, and the smaller animals huddled closer together. But Sulima raised her head, a confident look in her wise eyes. "Don't worry," she announced. "He may be sneaky, but we are smarter. Together, we can trick him."
A spark of hope ignited among the animals.
They looked at Sulima, their trust in her intelligence unwavering.
They huddled together, and under Sulima's guidance, they began to form a clever plan.
Each animal had a role to play, using their unique talents to outwit the hunter. The plan was set. The small, colorful bird, known for her beautiful voice, was the first to act. She flew directly over the hunter's hiding spot and began to sing the loudest, most distracting song she had ever sung. It was a chaotic, brilliant melody that echoed through the trees, making it impossible for the hunter to hear anything else. While the hunter was completely captivated by the bird's performance, trying to spot the source of the beautiful noise, The rabbit sprang into action. He crept silently to the edge of the net. Using his strong, sharp front teeth, he began to gnaw and tear at the ropes. Strand by strand, the tough fibers gave way. He worked quickly and quietly, his teeth like tiny, powerful scissors.
Seeing the rabbit making progress, Sulima lumbered over to help.
She positioned herself at the edge of the now weakened net and began to push with all her might, using the weight and strength of her shell to shove the tangled mess away from the path and into a thicket of thorny bushes. Just as they finished, the bird's song came to an abrupt end. The hunter, finally free from the distraction, turned back toward the lake, expecting to see his net full. But what he saw made him stop in his tracks. His trap was gone. He rushed to the spot where he had set it, only to find the remains of his net, torn to shreds and tangled in the thorns. The animals were nowhere to be seen. He stomped his foot in frustration and shouted into the empty forest. "This forest is full of clever animals." His angry voice echoed through the trees, but it was met only with silence. From a safe distance, hidden behind the trees, the animals watched him leave in a huff. A wave of triumphant laughter broke out among them. They cheered and celebrated their victory, patting the rabbit on the back and praising the bird for her stunning performance. But most of all, they gathered around Sue. They thanked her for her quick thinking, her wisdom, and her bravery. The deer bowed his head respectfully, and even the speedy rabbit admitted, "You saved us all, Sulima." From that day forward, the respect for Sulima in the forest grew tenfold. The animals no longer just saw her as the slow tortoise. They saw her as Sulima, the clever and courageous hero. They had all learned a valuable lesson that day. Being fast might get you there first, but being smart and working together is what truly keeps you safe. And sometimes, the most powerful strength comes not from swift feet, but from a calm and clever mind. Thank you so much for joining us for this story today. We hope you enjoyed the tale of Sulima and her friends. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wonderful stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. See you next time.